And we are live. Welcome, mystery and thriller fans. I'm your on-air host and author, Sara DiVello, and I am so excited to welcome back, live from Sydney, Pip Drysdale, here to give us the inside scoop on her brand new book, The Close-Up. Pip, welcome back. Tell us about this book.
Oh, thank you. Thanks so much for having me. Okay, let me see. All right, so The Close-Up follows Zoe Ann Weiss, who is a struggling novelist living in LA. Now, things have not gone well for Zoe. Once billed as the next big thing as an author, her first novel, a thriller about a stalker, bombed, and now she's stuck working in a day job, and she can't write another novel because she's got a terrible case of writer's block, and worse yet, she's kind of signed to a contract for her second book, which she can't deliver, which means she's going to have to pay them back $250,000. And her agent is obviously pushing her for a next book. But everything changes for Zoe when one night she goes out and she reconnects with an ex of hers, Zach Hamilton. Now, when she met Zach the first time, he was just some hot guy with the dream of becoming an actor. Now he's like a big movie star with PR people and paparazzi and fans. So the great thing about this is now Zoe knows what she wants to write about. She's going to write about him and them and what happens behind the celebrity curtain. The less great thing is soon her first novel goes viral, which could be good, except the problem with that is now everyone knows her name. And the problem with everyone knowing your name is everyone knows your name, including the stalker who is obsessed with Zach and wants Zoe gone. The stalker who has now read her first book and is enacting all the creepy plot twists in it, but with Zoe as the victim. So, yeah.
Ooh. Well, let me tell you, Pip, having interviewed you for the first time 4 years ago, I was so excited to welcome you back. And then as soon as I got my copy of The Close-Up, I was like, yum, 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 yum. Let me devour this book because I'm here for every single delicious detail. And I can't wait to get into all of it. But first, I just want to welcome everyone because we are broadcasting live to 8 different destinations across Facebook and YouTube. And so listen, mystery and thriller loving friends, no matter where you're watching from, you're in the right place. This is the right time. It is Mystery Monday. And because Mondays can be murder, we are going to make it a little less painful for you and get your week off to a killer start. So if you've been here before, you know the drill. And if you're new, welcome, friends. Here's the drill. Every Monday, I give you my handpicked featured authors, and you get to ask them anything. So ask Pip about this writer with writer's block. I was reading that while eating my popcorn. Let me tell you, I love a book with a writer in it as the main protagonist. Ask her about her creative process. Ask her about this Zoe Weiss. Ask her about this hot guy, this hot Zach, the Z couple, Z and Z. Ask her anything you want. Whatever happens on Mystery and Thriller Mavens stays on Mystery and Thriller Mavens, sort of like Vegas, but more murdery. Just get the questions going in the comments. Thanks for all the hearts up, you guys. I see your bouquets of hearts. Thank you. Let's jump right in. Renee says, hi, Sara and Pip from Southeast Florida. Hi, Renee. Welcome. Sharon is joining us from YouTube saying, happy Mystery Monday, girls. Hi, Sharon. Welcome back. Happy Mystery Monday. Renee says, happy early pub day, Pip. Yes, happy early pub day.
Thank you. It's really exciting. It's only a few hours now and it will be out there.
Yay. I know we only have 4 more hours here on the East Coast. Yeah. And for Margaret, who's on the West Coast, let's see, it's 5 p.m. there. So you have 7 more hours until this is out for you, Margaret. Yes. She's joining us from Oregon. And Renee says, I am looking forward to reading The Close-Up. Yay. I think we all are. Okay. So first of all, let's dive right in, Pip, because I have so many questions. Okay. So I love a book where the protagonist is a author, especially a thriller author, especially one who's struggling, because I struggle. And so I loved reading about Zoe in all of her rawness and realness and her humility and her fears and feeling like a failure and feeling stuck. And then her agent breathing down her neck, the deadline looming, pitching idea after idea and just being rejected. And then, of course, the hot guy who ghosted her 3 years ago. Now she's stuck delivering flowers. And oh my God, whose house does she have to deliver them to? It's all so deliciously cringe. Tell us how you got this idea. Tell us everything.
I don't know. Look, the thing is with me, I mean, it's never just one thing that spurs an idea on. It's always a number of things all at once. So there tends to be a lot bubbling beneath the surface of my subconscious. And usually I'm just desperately trying to figure out what I'm going to write about next. So I start writing and I don't know where it's going to go. So with this one, and the way that I get into it is I do that whole Hemingway start with like, write the truest line thing. So it's like for me, the truest line I could think of in that moment, because I was thinking about LA a lot, was the very first line of the book, which I can't remember now, but I will tell you. There's a magic hour light in LA right when the sun sets. It has the whole city sparkling gold and tangerine, even the trash. And so I started from there, and it's like the rest of the book, as I started writing it, I realized what I was writing. Okay. But it definitely wasn't strategic. Like, I want to write about this, and then I figured out what story would fit around it. It's almost like through writing it, I realized what I was writing. And then I realized what personal experiences probably had infused into it to make me want to write that. And so it's definitely not a case of, oh, I'm just not that logical. I don't go, this happened, so I'm going to do that. I kind of just start doing it. And then after the fact, I can go, oh, I can see what happened here.
Well, I have to say, I have been to LA many times. I have never liked that city because I'm a historical girl. I like, cobbled sidewalks and old buildings, and LA is just too new and stucco-y for me. But I remembered as I read about the light and the warm weather and the palm trees, I'm like, oh, LA does have these nice things. So you did make me feel warmly toward LA. Right. So thank you for that. Robin is saying, I am laughing out loud at deliciously cringe. Oh my God.
It is though. It's like, oh no.
Because that's everyone's worst nightmare, right? Where you run into your ex and they're doing great and you're not. Oh, and she's, and when they met 3 years ago, she was the one with the big contract and the bright future. And he was just some struggling, bartender who dropped from being an actor like everyone else in LA, except now he's the Netflix star with the billboards and she's stuck delivering flowers in the back of a truck. Oh my God, it's so embarrassing. Sharon saying, okay, so who's the hot guy? Yes, because indeed, with all these ideas bubbling beneath your consciousness, who is this hot guy, Pip?
You mean the one I based it on?
Yes.
But well, can't tell you that. But there wasn't one. No, there wasn't one. There were a few, like like I said,
there were a few hot guys.
It's like bubble up and like just keep it there, cryptic. But but in the book, the hot guy is called Zach Hamilton. So he is a movie star, and like we said, he when Zoe first met him 3 years ago, he was just trying. He didn't even have an agent at that point. Oh, hang on, I think he did have an agent. Anyway, by the by. So now he has all this stuff, and but I think he's kind of got a feeling of what it's really like to be in the public eye. And so for him, he's on the other side of things. Zoe's still very much trying to get there, and he has seen what it's like once you're there and has had to deal with some of the stuff. So obviously that is going to be it's going to create a level of humility in you and create a sense of loneliness and what have you, which is definitely something that he's dealing with. So then when he reconnects with her, there are reasons for why she might be important to him, because she knew him from before, and, they had a real connection from before. So, yeah.
And this guy is hot. You write a good hot guy, Pip, because I found myself, immediately suspicious because he ghosted her. And what a jerk. Why would you ghost Zoe? It's, or ghost anyone, you big jerk. But then I was like, and then I was like, don't talk to him, Zoe. Stay strong, stand strong.
Yeah,
but
we say that to ourselves, though, don't we? We're like, don't you dare go there again, but then you do.
And I thought to myself, am I going to believe this? And I did, because he is so bloody charming that I was like, darn it, I even like him, and I want to not like him, but I did. And
once you find out more information and you realize why he says he ghosted her and stuff, you're like, okay, I can see how maybe that would happen. And also men, man. Anyway, sorry, I didn't say that.
Exactly. Oh my goodness. Now, Pip, one thing that I was wondering, because Zoe then gets the idea, her agent has not liked her last 5 ideas. She's going to have to pay back the money. The pressures, if she has to pay back the money, she's going to have to move home with her dad and admit she's a failure. It's so embarrassing. Back to London, whatever. Now, she gets this idea that she will pull the curtain back on the world of celebrity, and so she's both re-engaging with this hot guy who she's thought about for 3 long years, but also she's taking notes. And I was wondering, how did you do that research, including how celebrities keep their relationships secret, because she's wondering that, and then she's meeting in a parking lot in a limo, a black car service is picking her up. And is this how it works? And how do you know? Tell us about that.
Look, you use what you've got, right? So it's like you've got some information that you've got some lived experience. You've got not the car thing. That didn't happen with me, but like that you have some lived experience, some things that you've heard secondhand, some things you've read, some things you've seen in TV shows, some things you've Googled, some things and then it all comes together and you create something that feels truthful based on everything from all the different sources that you have. So yeah, that's basically how I did it. I came at it from all the angles, but that's how I deal with everything. You've got some things for sure, some things you research, and some things you figure out sort of in the bridge between what you know for sure and what you're figuring out.
Ooh, I like that. I had never thought about it as a bridge. That's a good analogy. Okay, so let's talk about Robin saying yes, even the trash in LA. Excellent. Exactly, Robin. That's what I honed in on too. It was the juxtaposition and the disparity between the incredible light and the warmth and her charming bungalow, old Hollywood style bungalow, and then the trash, and it was the disparity that where she finds herself that hooked me as well. Good eye. I liked that. Thank you, Pep. Okay. Oh, we need to know more about this. Renee wants to know, sweet, how many hot guys is he based on?
I don't know, Renee. I lost count. No, I actually don't know. Then none of the characters in my books are ever based on specific people, but they are based on specific experiences and feelings and things that I have personally had, and then you kind of like mishmash it all together and create something completely and utterly fictional. So I don't know. I mean, there've been a few hot guys. I was single for a while there, which meant that you date. So I don't know. I don't think I'd tell you if I did. So.
Robin is saying, as much as I cringe with memories of growing up in Southern California, there are some amazingly beautiful parts there. Yeah. Yes. Southern California, you're right, Robin, is really beautiful. Thank you. Thank you for pointing that out. Margaret's saying, this sounds a lot like historical research. It's a mystery until it's pieced together. Tell us about that, Pip.
Very much so. Like, people always ask me whether I plot or I pants. And for me, it's a combination of the two. Like, I don't think it's one or the other. I mean, like for some people, it is. Some people, and bless them, I envy them. They can like write down exactly what happens first and then go with it. I tend to need to have a little bit more freewheeling between the plot points. So I'll know what I think is happening. Like I'll start just writing, and that's pantsing for like a few thousand words. Then I'll go, okay, what's going on here? And I'll create like a synopsis, and then I will start finding the major plot points. And then I will think that that's what's going to happen, and I'll start writing between the plot points and allow that to go however it goes. But usually in that pantsing part of getting from point A to point B, something will happen, or someone will say something, or I will overhear something, or, in my mind, obviously. And that will tell me something about the plot and the story. And then I will have to go back, because usually it's far better than something I would have thought of up front. And I'll have to reconfigure everything so that now it's taking into account that. And then I will continue to the next part. And it feels, yes, I'm a plot star. That's exactly it. I am a plot star. I have a friend, she's a writer, and she's like, just admit it. You plan badly. Like, yeah.
I love that. Wait, did you say you start with 1,000 words, Pip?
No, I start with like like I just start writing, and I start writing what's fun to me and what's interesting to me. And I don't really, it takes a bit, and then I'll get to 10,000. And at that point, at 10,000, that's usually, the point at which something has happened or something is about to. And at that point, I'm like, okay, so what is the actual synopsis here? And at that point, it doesn't mean that I keep those 10,000 exactly as is, but they've usually told me enough about who I want the character to be, and or who she decides she is, and like who the other players might be, and what she's up against, and what she wants. And, a lot of that has been disclosed to me by the characters by that point, which allows me to then take the next step. I don't, yeah, I figure it out as I go along. And then at the end, I think that I figured it out beforehand, and that it was easy, and that I can do it again. And then I have to start all over again. And I remember how hard it was. Like,
Yes, I'm at the starting over again phase, and I'm remembering how hard it is. And oh my God, it's so hard. And yes.
yeah.
And then I was talking to my friend Dawn, and she said, but isn't it so fun? And I thought, ooh, let me reframe this as fun.
Sometimes it's fun when it's working.
I am having fun. I am having fun.
When it's working, it's fun, but it's just that I find that there's just so much time, especially at the beginning, where it's not working, and I can't figure out how to make it go faster.
Yeah. Let me know if you find out.
Yeah. And then when it is working, then it's fun. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. I just would like to get to that point.
Yeah.
Let me know if you know how to get that. Robin saying that's such an excellent first sentence. It was such an excellent first sentence. And it was so nice to hear it in your voice, Pip.
Yeah.
This book is getting all sorts of praise. Let's take a peek at some of this. First, from this lovely review from a Booklist, which calls it a fast-paced domestic suspense thriller set in Los Angeles. Drysdale portrays the dark side of Hollywood in a book perfect for readers of Jessica Knoll and Megan Collins. Two great comps there. Congratulations on that lovely review. Margaret saying, this is why we can't have fun with both dating and with writing at the same time. That equals death.
Basically.
I love that. Well, your fellow Australian, Robin saying, I am having fun. Damn it. Exactly. I'm trying to tell myself that. Oh, I'm having fun. Damn it. Exactly. That's literally,
isn't it?
I'm having fun. Yeah, exactly. Renee saying Zoe and Zach are great names too. They are such great names. And I like how Zach is like, oh, we're both Z names. And Zoe meanwhile is thinking he probably doesn't even remember me.
Yeah.
Elizabeth, welcome to the conversation, saying, is there an audio version of your novel? And did you get to choose the narrator?
There is an audio version. She's great. Her name is Billy. I can't remember her last. She's got a double barrel last name, but this name's Billy, and she's awesome.
It's Billy Fulford Brown.
Yes. So I did get to choose her. They sent through snippets of people's voices, and I really liked hers because she had the vulnerability that I wanted Zoe to have. I didn't want someone who sounded too 100% together, and I'm sure she can do that as well, but the version that I heard had a level of humanity and like vulnerability around her that I really wanted Zoe to have.
I love that. Well, here is the audio available with the vulnerable and human voice that Pip chose, narrated by Billy Fulford Brown. Here it is. And Elizabeth, thank you for that great question. Oh my gosh, Margaret saying she's familiar with Billy Fulford Brown. She's great. I love that you know that, Margaret. How very cool. And Elizabeth, thank you for the question, because having heard Pip's voice read it, I thought, oh, that's so perfect. How could we find a voice more perfect than Pip's? So I will look forward. Now I want to listen to Billy and hear her read it.
Yeah.
So thank you for that. Now, Pip, your fellow Australian, Haley Scrivener, who came on.
I love Haley.
Love Haley. She came on for her book when it came on. She was on Mystery and Thriller Mavens, and she had some lovely things to say about yours. Let's take a peek. She said, with twists and turns set against an LA skyline, Pip Drysdale shows that she is the undisputed queen of the sexy, cool, thriller. I loved that. So congratulations on that lovely review from Haley. And Haley is not the only one raving. We have so many fabulous bits here that I'm not even sure we'll get to them, but I did want to get to this one from Book Page, which awarded you a starred review. Congratulations on that. And this is a long one, so I'm going to pop it up briefly because it's going to cover us. But they said, a hotly anticipated debut novel complete with a princely advance and a dreamy move to LA equals lifelong success, right? Well, not quite. Books flop, money dries up, and the city's bright lights conceal both its dark underbelly and what those in the limelight will do to stay famous. With its colorful supporting characters and spectacularly twisty plot, The Close-Up is a fantastic addition to the neo-noir subgenre. And what I love about this, aside from everything, is that they talked about the twists, and I want to know how you plants them out. And then also that they talked about the neo-noir, because I think LA is so famous for its neo-noir, whether it's Michael Connelly or Walter Mosley, sort of, what a lovely addition for them to acknowledge you as being part of that neo-noir form, Pep.
Yeah, it was really good.
Okay, so let's talk about those, what Booklist said, spectacularly twisty plot. So in your planting, how did you get your draft and then think, I need a few more spectacular twists, or how did those come to be?
No, I'm quite method when I start writing a character. So I tend to I go a little intense with it. I'll pick out like a perfume for them. So for Zoe, it was Good Girl Gone Bad because it smells like cigarettes and peaches, and she's smoking the whole way through. And I was like, this is perfect. So so I'd spray myself with that, and I like learn a lot about where they work and everything. So with her, I also somehow gave myself writer's block, just to go totally.
Oh my God, I love that.
It's like I didn't do it on purpose. That definitely was not my commitment to my craft. That was just like, I think, you're writing someone who has writer's block, and then it's amazing, you kind of do it to yourself. So I was just completely I wrote the first part relatively easily. I got the book deal. And then now that I knew someone was going to buy it, I was like, uh-oh. And so then there's all this pressure on you and you want to do a great job. So everything that Zoe is going through in this book, I was kind of going through as I wrote it. And so when I was trying to figure out what the twists and were and stuff, I mean, some of them, I didn't really keep any of the ones that I thought they were going to be when I first started the book. I got a little bit deeper, and then something happened. And I was like, oh, and then it told me something. It really was a process of me discovering as I went, and a lot of me rewriting as I went, and a lot of me reconfiguring. And yeah, it I don't know, it kind of reveals itself to you. And then by the end, you've got something, and it feels a little bit like magic. It's not magic. It's like your subconscious is just like so tired of you that it's just doing its best to come up with something, but it feels like magic. So
I love that. Robin saying, I'm so glad that you got to pick your narrator. Their sound and skill are critical. Absolutely. That person, because they're in your reader's ear, and they bring these people that you have created to life. And if I will say it, I have stopped listening to some audiobooks because the voice is like chalk on a chalkboard. I just can't do it. And so the voice matters totally. Sharon saying, sexy cool with a hot guy. Exactly. The queen of sexy cool here with her sexy cool hot guys. Renee wondering, was it also released in Australia today? Yeah, when was it released in Australia?
It released in Australia, I think, 4 weeks ago. So yeah, it's already out here, but it has a different cover. So yeah.
Why did they? Oh wow, I didn't realize it was 2 different pub dates. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a huge difference. It was it was a month. So but it's quite good though, because I had to do so much on the ground promo for it here, a lot of touring and interviews and turning up to bookshops and stuff, that I think it would be really tricky to be doing what I need to do for the US release simultaneously. I think it's really good that I got to do that, and then now I can focus on this.
Well, the book is out here in the US in just 3.5 hours here on the East Coast and 7.5 hours on the West Coast. And here, sorry, 6.5 hours in the West Coast. And here is your link to order the close-up from our favorite woman-owned independent bookstore. That is, of course, Murder by the Book. So whether you're watching with us today on Facebook or YouTube, here is that link so that you too can click and get your mitts on the world of the queen of the sexy, cool thriller and this hot guy, Zach. So I know you're intrigued now. So here is that link. Ooh, Renee wants to know, do you dream about your characters?
Yeah, I find that it almost takes over my mind. Like you definitely feel a little bit like you're going crazy while you're writing. Well, I do while I'm writing them. Like, I wake up in the middle of the night thinking I have a stellar idea and then like writing it down on my phone. And, and I can't sleep at night when I'm doing rewrites because my brain is just won't stop. So I'll probably, while I'm doing rewrites, will only get like 4, maybe 5 hours sleep for the period of time. Thankfully, I only ever have like 2 to 3 weeks to do the rewrite. So there's a limit to how badly slept I am.
Oh my God, but 4 or 5 hours for 3 weeks?
Yeah, it's not good for me. I don't think it's healthy, but it's like I can change it. Like, where you just go, that's how my brain works. So, yeah. And I'm grateful for it on one level because I go, if I wasn't like that, I don't know that I'd be able to keep it, because it's like you're trying to keep the whole plot in your head. I mean, you must have this as well, Sarah. Like you're trying to keep all the pieces together, and because you're trying to make changes, you can't afford to forget any part of it, because otherwise you make a change here and it impacts something here and you haven't thought about it, and then you got real problems, and it's like you're kind of in this high alert state. So I definitely dream about them. I feel by the time I finish writing it, it's almost like it's real, like it actually happened. And I'm thinking like a memory, because you've been in their house so many times, you can see, so yeah.
Exactly. And you're smelling them with her peaches and her peaches and cigarettes. And,
you never want to wear that perfume again. You're like, on to the next character.
On to the next character. And you're hearing her with her London accent. And you're, seeing Zach and his sexy, cool pool. And and all of the things. Absolutely. So I'm putting the praise for this book is just so great to see. Hannah Richel saying, a compulsive thriller that really gets under the skin. This book is sure to keep you up all night, frantically turning the pages until every last twist is revealed. And this book did indeed keep me up late. We also have, praise from Anna Downs, calling it thoroughly addictive, effortlessly cool and clever as hell. The close-up is both a voyeuristic peek into the world of celebrity and a dark Gatsby-esque critique of the modern American dream, from glitter and grime. I liked that, of the LA backdrop to the irresistible voice of the protagonist. Again, that voice. Every page hums with an energy so delicious that once you start reading, you can't stop. Perfectly thrilling. It's so much fun. That's from Anna Downs, the internationally bestselling author of The Safe Place and Red River Road. We also have the review from Publishers Weekly in here, calling this, again, glassy neo-noir, and so many other words of praise. So I'm putting all of these in the comments because we're not going to be able to get to all of them, even though I wish we could, because they're just so fun to read. Margaret saying, yes, balancing the universe in one's brain. There is an expiration date for sure. Right. Because also, to your point, Pip, it's like dominoes. So if you change something here in chapter 2 or even chapter 5, all the way down, that echoes. So you trying to keep that straight. It's
or you can change it, but then you need to be able to compensate for how it's going to change things, which it just keeps you up at night. Often I find that if it messes something up, you end up changing the thing it messes up in a way that makes it even better than before. So it's like all fortuitous, but it's that terror of kind of like, have I just pulled a thread and now the whole thing's going to fall apart?
unravel like a sweater, never pull the thread.
Exactly.
Well, Ashley Calagian Blunt calling gripping, sultry, and ultimately shocking. And we have Daniel Calla saying suspenseful and humorous, sharing an irresistible underdog heroine. Yeah, I love that, because we do cheer for the underdog and we want to see Zoe make it. So again, this book is available now for pre-order, and the good folks at Murder by the Book will ship it to you first thing in the morning here in the US. So once again, here is that link, whether you're watching with us on Facebook or YouTube, so that you too can get your hand on the close-up. Pip, thank you so much for joining us live from Sydney to give us the inside scoop on your latest, The Close Up. I have had so much fun chatting with you. And thank you to everyone who joined us, everyone who commented, and all of my shy mavens who've just been watching with us. I see you. Thank you, Tina, Irma, of course, Robin and Renee. Thank you for all the great questions. Catherine with a C, Catherine with a K. Brianne, Rihanna, Cooper. I'm trying not to miss anybody here. Margaret, thank you. Marion, Ener. Oh my God, it's Kate with a C. Thank you. And thank you everyone else who if I didn't get to you, thank you. Oh, yay. Sending you much love too. And oh, thank you for ordering, Margaret. And Pip, congratulations, happy pub day, and I can't wait to have you back for your next book. Just
I know.
Yay! All right, everyone, I hope your week is off to a killer start. May the days and the pages fly by, and I will see you next Mystery Monday.